snake and try to scare somebody. Okay, why have you ever seen when they use toy snake to scare somebody outside the country and the person stands? They will still run, then find out that it's a toy snake, then they'll wait. It happens, it's everywhere. Let's stop saying this is Nigeria, anything can happen. What about if the devil uses you while you brought out your AK-47? Why don't you take it to your house and do the practice with your kids? No, I beg you. This life is too simple. Imagine someone just call you on the station and start using manipulative words. You cut them off immediately. Why don't you leave them to keep on saying what they want to say? The power of our action lies within us. So let's not mess it up. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mitchell. Your point is valid. Thank you so much. All right. I understand her point. Some people see their pastors as God. They can make mistakes, but these people are humans. All right. And the fact is that you don't even know if they are normal at that time that they are carrying a firearm. Anything can happen. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. All right, please do call back 0700 903 903 903. That's the studio line. Let's get your reaction. Let's get to know what you think about the situation. A pastor, someone who is a man of God, climbing the pulpit with a firearm, an AK-47. Will you still sit and be looking at him like, okay, pastor is coming to teach us? Obviously, that's a teaching aid he's trying to use, but there are several other teaching aids that one can use to still make the same point. You mustn't come with something as dangerous as that. In fact, personally, I will not sit and watch, okay? Because a lot of things are going wrong. And to even think that I will sit and watch you when I don't even know your mental health status, all right? I don't even know if you're normal mentally, or maybe you just woke up and decided to use a firearm to the church. I cannot sit and wait and believe that he's a man of God. I trust him. He can't do anything. And now it is something commendable to know that he apologized and he actually is willing to step down from his pastoral assignment, because I think he understands what he's doing and he is humble at the same time. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Beautiful evening to you. What's your name and location?
This is Abella calling from Seda. Please, what's the name of the pastor you're talking about?
All right, I mentioned his name, and the name of the church is House on the Rock. We're talking about Pastor Uche Aibe of House on the Rock, Abuja.
All right, thank you.
Okay, that's the information you want. All right, so let's know what you think about coming to the pulpit with a teaching aid, which is a dangerous instrument, which is something that people are scared of. Okay, ordinarily, if I see policemen along the streets carrying their guns, I get scared. Let alone someone carrying it to the church to climb a pulpit just to make a point, just to illustrate something. What do you think about that? Will you still sit and wait and say, no, he's my pastor. I trust him so well. He can't do anything. He's a man of God. He has been anointed. All right. And the caller here said that we all have been anointed, that we have different anointing, and we are all men and women of God. So we shouldn't trust people so well, thinking that they cannot do anything, whereas you never can tell. In as much as they are humans, they can do anything at all. All right, anything at all. And considering the situation of the country, this is not a time where you sit back and relax and said someone is not going to do something. Okay, people, this situation is driving a whole lot of people crazy. And because of this situation, anybody can just wake up and decide to do anything. So you don't just have to sit and wait. But if you decide to sit and wait, that's fine. I like your faith. I commend your faith in your pastor and in your God. All right, while we're still waiting for your reactions on this story, we still have another story here, because we are gaining insight to what is happening around us, to the events, the happenings, to the happenings around the country, within our community and outside our community. Now I have another story concerning the Naira scarcity. In fact, this one will affect everybody. The story says that a man has been arrested with fake 250,000 naira new notes. And obviously, this scarcity of naira notes will actually make us, you know, will make these fake new naira notes in circulation. And if you don't pay attention to find out how you can identify fake new notes, you might end up having these things. You might end up collecting them ignorantly. And when you collect them ignorantly, police will not ask you if you collected it ignorantly. You'll be arrested. Now, let's read this story. Operatives of the Ekiti State and Moteku Corps have arrested a man identified as Celestine with counterfeited new 1,000 naira notes amounting to about 250,000 naira. Celestine, who claimed he was an Anambra State-born Lagos-based businessman, said he was heading from Lagos State to Kogi State to buy kola nut and bitter kola when he was arrested with the fake new naira notes. The suspect, who spoke at the Amoteku State headquarters, Ado Ekiti, where he was paraded with the money, described himself as a victim of circumstance, saying, "I collected the fake new naira notes from a customer in Lagos State without knowing that they were not genuine. Following my arrest, I had tried to contact him for my release. I am still expecting to hear from him," the suspect said. I really don't know why you will be contacting someone who gave you fake new notes. Like, the person will come to the police station so he can also get arrested. All right, we'll have the caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. Hello. Good evening. I can hear you. What's your name and location?
I'm calling from Oshodi.
All right, you didn't tell me your name.
My name is God's Power.
All right, God's Power. Please go ahead. Which story do you want to react to?
Please call.
Hello? Hello?
Are you hearing me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. We just asking why should this collect number and the name of the pastor. Sorry.
I didn't get you, sir.
I said the last caller called you and asked you the name of the pastor.
Yes.
And they cut off the phone. He didn't ask why should that person behave like that.
Obviously, he heard what I said. I think he heard everything. He was just trying to confirm.
Okay, let me say something. Why must you people leave what you're supposed to discuss and discuss?
All right, sorry we lost that. You can still call back and talk to us about what you think. All right, this did not happen in Voice of the People 90.3 FM. This is something that happened in Nigeria, and whatever happened in Nigeria is a news we need to talk about. We need to let people know about what is happening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Beautiful evening to you. What's your name and location?
I believe that is wrong. As a pastor to hold on.
You didn't tell me your name and location.
I'm Paul.
Okay,
Paul
Paul.
by name.
Go ahead.
But to me, it's very, very wrong as a pastor being hold a gun on the altar to preach. Because you are a pastor, you are not a pawn. For you to hold a gun is very, very wrong. So, to me, I believe he's supposed to take and apologize for his member, because that can make his member to disbelieve him as a pastor.
He has apologized. He has apologized.
Honestly, okay. So it's very, very wrong. You understand? It's very, very wrong.
So if you see your pastor carrying gun, will you sit and watch him to know his next line of action, or will you take to your heels?
In fact, to me, I can't wait. I can't withstand it. It's very, very bad. Because that shows that it's not a real pastor. It's not a real pastor. Like one storybook that I read about John Woo, talk about truth, about being a real pastor. Is any pastor that does not do the will of God is an antichrist. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's very, very bad. To me, it's very bad. So that's what I can say.
All
That's
right.
what
Thank you, Paul, for your contribution. Thank you so much. Okay, that is it, and we have actually entered into another story, but you can keep reacting to whichever one you find interesting or whichever one you want to react to. Now we're talking about the fake new naira notes. A man who was arrested with a fake new naira note, which amounted to 250,000 naira. He said he's just a businessman, and somebody gave him this money, and he collected it ignorantly. In fact, the he said that he collected the fake new naira notes from a customer in Lagos without knowing that they were not genuine. And he said he has tried to contact the customer who gave him the fake new notes, but he is still expecting to hear from him. Obviously, he will not even get back to you. That's the fact, because he might know that they are fake new naira notes. All right. Now, let's now look at ways we can identify the fake new naira notes, because with the scarcity of the naira notes in Nigeria, a lot of people will have this fake new naira without knowing that they are in possession of fake notes. Okay, because if you're not able to identify this fake new notes, in fact, you will fall victim, because you definitely collect it ignorantly, and people will take advantage of this situation of naira being scarce to start, printing these fake new naira notes and circulating them in the country. Now, let's look at how to identify fake naira notes. Okay, a fake currency, we all know, is an imitation of currency produced without legal authorization from the state of government. Identification of original naira notes from fake pieces in the economy does not require you going to school to sit down to learn how to identify that. It doesn't, because there are differences to look out for. There are differences to look for fake naira notes. There are differences that when you see it, you can identify that, yes, this one is a fake note, this one is a genuine note. All right. The naira notes are protected by various security features which enable the easy recognition of genuine ones. These security features will help us to identify that, yes, this is an original naira note, and then this is fake. Now, let's look at these features. First of all, if you receive this new naira note, check the texture of the naira note. If the texture of the naira note is soft, if it's soft and the image in it appears dull, then there's need for you to be concerned. Reject it and demand another one. The person might try to convince you, persuade you, no, it's original. I'm just coming from the bank now. It's original. I cannot give you fake. I'm your good customer. Please reject it and demand another one, because if police finds out that you're in possession of this fake notes, they won't ask you who gave it to you. You'll just be arrested. All right? Just like this guy that was arrested with 250,000 naira new note. But I'm actually concerned to think that this guy collected this much and wasn't concerned. How can someone just give you new notes of 250,000 naira and you just collected it feeling happy, feeling like it's okay? Where did he get it from? You were not concerned. So what do you think about? Do you think that this guy is actually saying the truth, that he's not aware that these are fake notes, or probably he is aware and is trying to deny it? What do you think? And I also want to ask Nigerians if they've received a fake new note. Have you seen this fake new note? Have you received it ignorantly? How did you identify? How did you get to know that it is a fake new note? Let us get to know what you think, right? Then another security feature to look out for is the gold foil. You need to observe the gold foil. The 1,000 naira new note has a gold foil on the right side, just near the CBN governor's signature. So look out for that gold foil. If you scratch the gold foil of a fake note, it will peel off instantly. But the gold foil on the original note does not peel. I hope you get this. When you have if you actually have the 1,000 naira note now, just look at it. Observe that gold foil that is near the CBN governor's signature. If you scratch the gold foil of a fake note, it will peel off. So scratch yours now and see if it peels off. If it peels off, my dear, know that you're in possession of an illegal tender. All right. But if it doesn't peel off, know that you are with the original note. So this is another security feature to look out for in doing your daily transactions, especially when it has to do with the new Naira notes. Now, the third one is you can use water or other liquid. You can differentiate the fake currency from the original currency by using water or other liquid. Scammers release this fake money, and the colors they use in printing counterfeits are soluble in water and some other liquids. So if you're not certain about the originality of the note that you have, of the note that you're in possession of, you can dip it in water or petrol and scrub it gently, just a gentle scrub. The colors will change immediately if the note is fake. So if someone hands you over the 1,000 naira new note, the 500 naira new note, or the 200 naira new note, please try to dip it in water. Get water. If you can't find water, you can use petrol or any liquid at all, then scrub it gently. If the color fades, then know that it is fake money. The colors of counterfeit money will just wash off like an artwork that is painted with watercolor. So just make sure next time when you receive this money, be on the lookout to ensure that you don't collect fake notes from people. And another thing they said is the moment you dip these fake new notes in water, it becomes messed up. It will get rough. It will look more like a pepper mash. But the real note will not look like this when you immerse it in water or any liquid. So that's the third feature to also look out for when you're doing your daily transaction, especially when it has to do with the new Naira notes. Now, the fourth one is that you have to examine the ribbon or the thread. There is a thread which appears like a ribbon on all Naira notes, running from the top to the bottom. In real Naira notes, this thread can be felt with a touch. It is more noticeable on old Naira notes than in new one. However, in fake notes, there is something that looks like the thread, but it is not that thread. So you need to examine that ribbon or thread. In these counterfeit notes, what is there is just a straight line painting that looks like the thread in the original notes. So if you scratch the painting, it will peel off. It will just peel off like you're scratching a recharge card. But it's not like that in the original notes. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Beautiful evening. What's your name and location?
My name is Ifanya from Enugu State, but I'm living for Lagos.
All right, Ifanya, please go ahead.
Day before yesterday, I called you. I told you to send me that number of that woman who talked to you for phone.
Sorry,
later I will send
this
it
is not the
me.
show. This is not. Sorry, I'm sorry. This is not the show. Okay, I'm not the presenter you spoke to. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. We're talking about how to identify fake Naira notes, how to differentiate the fake one from the genuine one. So when you get this new note, be on the lookout, check all the security features, and ensure that you're in possession of the genuine Naira note to avoid being arrested, to avoid you going to say, my customer gave me, I'm not aware, I ignorantly collected. Police will not ask you if you ignorantly collected or you intentionally collected. All right. Now, the fifth one is use mercury bulbs. They said we should use mercury bulbs. Some qualities of the paper Naira notes cannot be seen with the naked eyes. There are some qualities that this Naira notes have that you can't just see it with your naked eyes. So these features are only in original Naira notes, and one cannot see them except with the help of a mercury bulb. And sometimes you see these mercury bulbs in banks. Okay, it helps them identify original Naira notes and differentiates them from the fake. For instance, if a real 1,000 Naira note is placed under the rays from a mercury bulb, it will show a shining 1,000 Naira in numbers written across the note. And the same is applicable to all other smaller denominations. So please, I gave you 5 tips, 5 security features that you should be on the lookout for. So whenever you come across this new Naira note, check them very well. Ensure that you are in possession of the genuine one and not the fake one. Because if you get caught, you'll be arrested and you'll be made to pay for it. Okay, so don't get caught up. Don't ensure that you are being caught, especially when you know that you did not give yourself this money. You know, you got this money as a result of your daily transactions. So when you're making your daily transactions, be on the lookout and ensure that you don't collect this fake Naira notes that are everywhere, that are in circulation. All right. So at this juncture, let's go on a short break, but I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Voice of the People. Welcome to the best exclusive radio station, VOP 90.3, bringing you the best mix of the best music. Welcome to the best exclusive radio station, VOP 90.3, bringing you the best mix of the best music. Welcome. Voice of the People, find your brand, find your voice. Voice of the People, find your brand, find your voice. Voice of the People, find your brand, find your voice. Voice of the People, find your brand, find your voice.
This is the station that gives you a voice.
How can you be jubilating when judgment has not been given to you? Meaning that you are bribing the judiciary.
You see a lot of young Nigerians who are leaving the country in droves. They are running away to escape poverty.
And I think Nigerians should rise.
Many families and properties have been destroyed. Accountability is one of the things that is lacking in governance in this country.
Speak with no hindrance.
Chapter 4, Section 39 of the Nigerian Constitution, Right to Freedom of Expression and Press, states, every person shall be entitled to the freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart ideas and information without interfering.
Now you have a voice. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM.
There comes a time in the affairs of man when the voice of the people stands unique, constantly challenging societal status quo. 90.3. It is a great place of fun and insight. It is a great place of learning. It could be your school on radio. It could be your life on radio. We are VOP, Voice of the People. VOP 90.3. Is strong. It is the voice of the people. Entertainment unparalleled. Satisfaction guaranteed. VOP, Voice of the People. VOP, Voice of the People.
3.
All right, welcome back. It's the late night show on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Biblas Chidi, and we've been looking at a lot of things that are happening in the country, in various parts of the country. Now let's go to Anambra State. Yesterday, we looked at the alleged extrajudicial killings by policemen in Anambra, in Okuzu to be precise. We talked about it. Now, a group named Police Stakeholders Partnership Forum have said that they are following with keen interest the shocking revelations trending on the social media space about the existence of a criminal ring comprising some police officers and others allegedly involved in illegal detention, kidnapping, extrajudicial killings, and human organ harvesting and trading in Anambra State. All right, this group, in a petition to the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, called for the total overhauling of all the police units in the state, while the officers responsible in the allegations of corruption, human rights violation, and extrajudicial killings should be investigated and brought to account. The petition was signed by the Executive Director, Rulag Okechukwu Nwanguma, and Coordinator, PSPF, Prince Azo, and this petition was made available to some correspondents in Oka yesterday. The groups also commended the police boss for setting up the special investigation panel to investigate the allegations of the extrajudicial killings, saying that a report is expected to be issued at the end of the exercise. They also stressed that this investigation must not be swept under the carpet as the whole world is watching with keen interest. The groups further warned that the accused police officers should not find their way back to their former base pending the conclusion of the investigation. They also alleged that the indicted officers had boasted that power passed power after their curious release from custody at the force headquarters, Abuja. The group also commended the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo's directive to the Attorney General of the state to call for and review all case files with allegations of human rights abuses handled by the Police Zone 13 headquarters, Ukpo, and the Rapid Response Squad, Okuzu. They said those accused, that's those policemen accused of being part of the deadly criminal ring, are a chief superintendent of police named Patrick Chukwuemeka Agbazue, who is a former OC SAS, that's officer in charge SAS, Okuzu, and currently the commander of the Rapid Response Squad, Okuzu, a superintendent of police, Princess Nwoden Kiruka, popularly known as Ruka Ruka, who is a former police public relations officer in Anambra State Police Command and currently the PPRO of Zone 13 headquarters, Ukpo, and an inspector named Harrison Akama, also attached to the RRS Okuzu, Anambra State, among others. These are the three indicted police officers alleged to have been involved in organ trafficking, in the torture, in the extrajudicial killings of people, of their victims. They will arrest people, they will not charge them to court, they will not try them, nothing will be done. They will freeze their account, transfer money from the victim's account to their own account, and then they will start chatting up their family members to pay more money. So their family members will believe that the victims, their loved ones, are in the hands of kidnappers, not knowing that the police have arrested them, and the police will not tell the family members that, oh, I have your loved one, if you want you can come see them. They won't tell, they won't disclose this. And after the torture and a whole lot of things. They will now kill the person without letting the family members know. So what do you think about the situation? So this group said, have written a petition to the IG of police, and they also said that this group are reported to be notorious. That's this group of policemen are being reported to be notorious for the serial criminal acts of killing accused persons in their custody and then taking over their money and property. It was also learned that things that are supposed to be used as evidences, things that they will get from their victims, they will convert it to their personal properties like cars, pistol, and money. They will convert it to become theirs. All right, and these are people that should be protecting lives and properties in the state. The statement also read, the time has come for a thorough overhauling of many police units that continue to be run by criminally minded police officers, the same ways that the disbanded SARS were run, which over time built up public anger and precipitated the End SARS rebellion, the aftermath of which has continued to haunt the Nigeria police and the country in general. So the group say that they are calling on the IGP to ensure an overhaul of all police units that continue to discredit the police and continually keep the police institution on negative spotlight. All police officers responsible for corruption and human rights violations should be investigated and brought to account. In particular, the IGP is called upon to ensure that there is no cover-up of any sort or shielding of any police officer or anyone whatsoever found involved in the alleged criminal act and human rights violation by police officers at Zone 13 Ubo and the State CID Annex Okuzu, Anambra State. They are also calling on the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, to ensure that appropriate government agencies monitor the investigation closely and ensure that justice is done if anybody was found culpable. In fact, if you've been following this story, it is a heart-wrenching story. It is a story that, in fact, when you see some of the videos and pictures, you wouldn't want to look at them because they are gory sights. You don't want to see the torture being meted on victims, on these people. If they're actually criminals, there are ways to go about this. These are professional men and women. These are police officers. They know how to go about it when they feel they've caught a criminal. When they feel they've arrested a criminal, there are ways to go about these things. Why will you torture your victims and kill them without letting their family members know that they've been arrested? And to also think that their family members are hoping to see their loved ones, maybe they are in the hands of kidnappers, that one day these kidnappers will release them, only to find out that their loved ones have been murdered by police men and women. So these things are heart-wrenching stories. In fact, they are terrible stories. Let's get your reaction on this. Let's get what you think about the story, because this story is actually not a new one. Most of us are aware of this story that has been making rounds on social media. Let's get your reaction. The number to call is still 0700 903 903 903. It's the Late Night Show on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I have a WhatsApp message here, and I'll be reading the story. Although the reaction to this story is from the first story I shared with you. Someone said, "Good evening, sister. I'm listening from Ikotu. My name is Faith. My sister, I will run without looking back because no amount of sorry. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Beautiful evening to you.
Good evening. My name is Kelechi. I'm calling from Alakoko.
All right, Kelechi, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing very well. In
All
fact,
right.
I'm enjoying what you're talking about concerning Anambra. That is why I called.
All right, let's get your reaction. What do you think?
Please, I want to urge the authority, especially Anambra state government. They should not relent until a thorough investigation is carried out. You see, that story, it's so disturbing that such a thing should be happening in the police force. The police is meant to protect life and property, but for them to be accused of taking life, destroying property, confiscating property, it's so terrible. I am urging the authorities, especially Anambra State government, not to relent in making sure investigation and justice is done, especially for the victims that have been marked already, because those victims, they are gone and they are not coming back.
Of course. And their families are actually speaking up now, trying to identify their loved ones who have been murdered by this, allegedly murdered by this policeman.
It's such a terrible situation. Please, you people should make sure that you keep hammering it on the authorities to do the right thing so that these victims will get justice.
Definitely.
That's why we know that Nigeria is working for everyone.
All right, definitely Nigeria will work for us all.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, Nigeria, we're talking about the Anambra extrajudicial killings allegedly being done by policemen and women, people who ought to protect lives and properties, taking away lives, confiscating properties instead of submitting these properties to the appropriate authority, to the police that look at the evidences I have. They will actually convert these things to their personal properties, cars, pistol, phones. They will convert them to their personal properties. What do you think about this? Let's get your reactions. 0700 903 903 903 is the studio number to call to tell us what you think about this. All right. While I wait for your calls to come in, let me keep reading the WhatsApp messages I have here. I was trying to read a reaction from the first story I shared about a pastor carrying an AK-47 to the pulpit. Someone said, my sister, I will run without looking back because, this call is actually interrupting my conversation. All right, hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, my sister.
Beautiful evening. What's your name and location?
It's Solomon coming from Igondo.
All right, Solomon. What do you think?
Are you telling me that this thing happened in Nigeria?
In Anambra State, or closer to be precise.
In Anambra State.
Yes.
People that are supposed to protect life and property.
Of course.
My God, I'm hearing this story. It's just like movie.
Really?
It's like movie. I'm seriously speaking. You can imagine policemen that when you have trouble, you run to them. You run to them for protection. They are the ones doing this kind of a thing. Oh my God, this is serious.
It's terrible.
I don't even know what to say. I think, in fact, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Hi. In fact, I'll call you back.
All right, my brother, please do. Just put yourself together. It's a terrible situation. In fact, when you look at the video footage of the torture, the mother, it will break your heart. It will actually break your heart to think that people who should protect us are dealing with us in this manner, are taking lives in this manner. And to actually understand the extent by which they are going about this thing is when they arrest their victims, they will first of all freeze the person's account, take over the money, transfer the money to their own personal account, confiscate cars, take over whatever thing they can find on that person, phones, cars, pistol, and convert it to their personal property, and then start chatting up their family members like they are kidnappers, like they are some kind of kidnappers to bring extra money, to bring more money. And the families would believe that, oh, my daughter or my son has been kidnapped, not knowing that this person has been arrested by the police, and at the end of the day, they will not see their loved ones. Then after collecting all these valuables, you will still kill these people. Why, I ask? And they are also being accused of organ harvesting. Why, I ask? So we are pleading, begging the IG of police to ensure that justice is being done, to ensure that this case is not swept under the carpet, because the whole world is watching. Nigerians are watching. These victims need to get justice. Their loved ones are speaking up. People are actually looking for their persons. Every day you come up with missing person here and there, and I ask why. So the government should help us and ensure that these victims get justice. So let us know what you think about this alleged extrajudicial killings that the policeman has been accused of being carried out. Let's get what you think. Let's get your reaction. 0700 903 903 903. That's the studio line. And while I wait for you to call, someone was reacting to the first story I shared about a pastor who carried AK-47 to the pulpit. The person said no amount of illustration will make the pastor carry AK-47. Is he a toy? If he really wants to use a gun as an illustration, there is a toy gun. Why not use it instead of a real gun? Even with a toy gun self, me, I won't know it's a toy gun, so I will still run. My sister, maybe the pastor is passing through depression. Things are happening in Nigeria. You might not know what the pastor is passing through at the moment, so please, it's not normal. Then someone now reacted to this story of extrajudicial killings. Said the government should do well to bring the perpetrators of this crime, because I know they will be well connected. So they should bring them to book. Investigation should be carried out properly and ensure that justice is served. All right, let's get your reaction. Let's get what you think. 0700 903 903 903. You can also send up WhatsApp messages on 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Beautiful evening to you. What's your name and location?
This is Goodness calling from Alagbado.
All right, Goodness. Let's hear your reaction.
Please, I want to react to that of the pastor that carried gun on the pulpit.
Okay.
If that is to be my pastor, you see, the pastor is like a father. You're talking about my pastor, not another person's pastor.
Okay.
You're talking about my pastor. My pastor is like a father to me. And I can't see my father, he does not bear the circumstances which he carries a gun that will make me run away from him. You need to understand who a pastor is. A pastor is a symbol of love. A pastor is the representative of God. A pastor is a shepherd. I know what it means to be a shepherd. You care, you shield the sheep. You lay down your life for them. You need to understand when you say, this is my pastor, this is a man who cares for me, who loves me. So unless this person is not your pastor, I can't see my pastor carrying gun and we ever think that gun is to kill me. It's not possible. And moreover, this gun is not loaded gun.
But if you're seated there that day, you won't know if it's loaded or not. Will you know?
Even if it's loaded, my pastor cannot kill me. It's not possible. You get the point? Even if it's loaded, my pastor, my father cannot kill me. It does not matter what. And so, but I really want to appreciate the pastor for the fact that he was that humble to even apologize. And then I say, for now, let me be asked, is he trying to say that he will not preach again as a pastor?
Yes,
or is he to be a pastor?
He's withdrawing from his
for life,
assignment.
or is it for life or just for some time?
Temporarily.
Okay, temporarily. That pastor is a wonderful pastor. God will keep blessing him. You see, possibly he was trying to illustrate for people to understand, though carrying a gun might not actually be the best way to express it, but it does not matter anything. If he's my pastor, he remains my pastor. I love him because he's trying to actually teach me some things. At that point, he might not understand the state, or what the government would think about it, the state of the law concerning what he was doing. That might have not occurred to him. And so that in every circumstance, he remains my father, and I love him dearly.
All right. I like the fact that you said he remains your pastor and you love him dearly. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yes, my dear.
All right, so you can go ahead and react to any of the stories that I have shared. So currently, I've shared 3 stories with you. I've shared the story of the pastor who took an AK-47 to the pulpit just to illustrate some text in the Bible or some passages to the audience or to the people listening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location?
My name is Good News. I'm from the Kochegwe.
All right, good news. Let's hear your reaction.
I just want to thank you for your good work. You guys are making us to be happy. I want to ask, how about Lady Kofu? I'm not hearing about her again.
All right, you soon hear about her, right?
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, we're talking about a pastor who took AK-47 to the pulpit just to make an illustration. Obviously, he took that gun because he wants it to serve as a teaching aid. So, what will you do if your pastor takes an AK-47 to the pulpit, without you being aware if it was loaded or not? So, what will be your reaction? I said that my reaction would be to take to my heels first because I really will not understand if the pastor is mentally healthy at that moment, or he might be going through some kind of problems, and the only thing that comes to his mind is to carry gun. So at that moment, I will leave the vicinity, and maybe later I can now seek answers to what happened that day. All right. Then I shared another story about a man who was caught with fake new naira notes of about 250,000 naira, and is claiming that he's ignorant of the fact that those things were fake notes, that it was a customer who gave him those fake notes, and that he has been trying to reach the customer to come to the police and say something like, I gave it to him. He's not aware. He collected it ignorantly, and I ask, who will come? Even when you know that they are fake notes or you gave it to someone ignorantly, will you come to the police and say, yes, I am the one who gave him these fake notes? All right, because obviously you know the consequences of coming to the police to identify yourself that you are the one who actually handed those fake notes to that person. All right, so what do you think about, do you think that man is saying the truth or he's trying to defend himself? And do you have knowledge of how to identify these fake notes, how to differentiate these fake notes from the original or genuine ones? And I stated 5 security features that you should look out for when someone hands you the new naira note. Just look out for these 5 security features so that you can actually confirm whether they are original, genuine, or fake. Now, we're now talking about the alleged extrajudicial killings by policemen in Okoze's house in Anambra State. And we're trying to get your reactions from this story. The story I have here is not yet over. I still have another story to share with you before we go to another segment of the program. So let's go on a short break, and when I return, I'll share the story with you so I can also get what you think about that story. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Beautiful evening to you. Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location?
My name is Prosper.
All right,
From
Prosper.
Ejigo.
Which story do you want to react to?
About the Anambra matter.
Okay.
You see, those people, whether the government investigate or not, the Bible says in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 13, they are not hidden at all. Whether they do it, or people see them, or people did not see them. Whether they put them, how do you call it? They investigate the matter, or they are involved or not involved. So far as God is working there and God knows everything about them, let them hide it or let them hide the case. No, they will not go free. They will not go free. For killing human being, it is not. For torturing human being, it is not. For taking people's access, it is not. So God himself will investigate the matter, whether they like it or not. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. We are hopeful that God will intervene. Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, the phone line is still open. You can call in and say what you think. React to the stories that I've shared with you. The number to call is still 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Beautiful evening to you. What's your name and location?
Goodness from Alabado.
All right, Goodness, go ahead.
I want to react to the Anambra killing.
Okay.
You see, it's important I submit here that Nigeria, we don't have value for life. What is happening in Anambra is sympathetic. And you see, unless if the NGOs and the voice of the people and what they call them and the humanitarian services organizations, unless if they raise their voice, if not, this thing will be swept under the carpet. That is the only way justice can be met, because Nigeria is corrupt. You can hear them saying that nothing will happen, that they are in power, and of course, every word they have said, they meant it. It truly meant that there are high power up there that is engineering these people, and they will always be ready to set them free any moment from now, except if people voice. Like as you are saying it on radio, you lend your voice and lend my voice, and possibly the human rights organization will pick it up, take to them to court, follow it up. Immediately they slack in doing this, believe me, that case will die a natural death, and these people will continue perpetrating their evil. Believe me. The point here is, they have people who are the high-ranking police officers or in the government who that also benefiting from them, that they are submitting those ransom to, and before you know it, they will throw their weight around the whole thing, and they will set these people free, and then they will still be in the police force. So this is just part of the corruption that we are seeing in this country, Nigeria. It's so horrible. It's all about corruption. Thank you, my dear.
Thank
you for the great work you are doing. The Lord grant you more grace.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for lending your voice. Thank you.
Yes, my dear.
All right, we're talking about the alleged extrajudicial killings that happened in Anambra State by people who were supposed to protect lives and properties, and we're praying and hoping that this case should not be swept under the carpet, because if you actually listen to what I read earlier when I was trying to read out the news, I said there's a sentence I read that says they also alleged that indicted officers, that's the indicted police officers, had boasted that power passed power, and this is in quotes, power pass power after their curious release from custody at the force headquarters Abuja. And to think that they can be released, people who were invited, for questioning, and an investigation panel has been set up and now they have been released. And they went back, they were shouting power pass power. That shows that they're actually well connected. Obviously, they're actually well connected, and there are people up there who are engineering them, who are inciting them to these things. So they are not just doing this thing. That is why they are confident that nothing will happen. They are confident, boasting that power pass power. So let's get your reaction on this story, because we need to, just like the last caller said, we need to lend our voices. We need to talk about these things so that this case will not be swept under the carpet, so that these victims can get justice. Though they are dead, but their families are very much alive. They need to get justice. We all know the system in which we live in, but let's keep talking about it. And that is one advantage of social media, because if not for social media, nobody will know what is happening in Anambra State. And this thing will continue for a very, very long time. But thanks to social media, this is one advantage of social media, because it was actually through this social media that this case was brought to light. All right, and the Nigerian police was being tagged, everybody was being tagged, and they started investigation immediately. So let's get your reaction on this story. And while I'm waiting for your reaction, I have another story here that I'll also share with you, because when I started this program, I told you we'll be looking at various happenings, various things that are happening within the country, within the community where we live, and outside the community where we live, that is within Nigeria as a whole. Now the next story I have is that the Rivers police have arrested 4 women for allegedly abducting an infant. Let me read the story so that you can understand it and also react to it. It says, the Rivers State Police Command said its operatives busted a kidnap syndicate comprising 4 women for allegedly kidnapping and trafficking a 4-year-old in Afam in Oyibo local government area of the state. The spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace Iringe Koko, disclosed this in a statement issued in Port Harcourt to newsmen on Tuesday. The spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace, said one of the suspects, known by the victim, that's by the little child, had lured the infant to her accomplices. She said the 4 female suspects, aged between 19 and 26, were arrested while trying to transport the infant to Aba in Abia State. 19 years and 26. These are young, very young girls. Very young girls. What are they doing with that child? What do they want to do with a child of 4 years? These are not older women. They are pretty much very young, 19 and 26, between the ages of 19 and 26, kidnapping a little child and transporting that child to Aba in Abia State. Let me read the statement. The Rivers State Police have arrested one Victoria Okon, 23 years, Jessica Ndifreke, 26, Charity Samuel, 19, and Chinaza Daniel, 25, in connection with the abduction of a 4-year-old boy, Unique Tan Timmy Tom, at our farm. Victoria, who is known by the victim, was said to have lured him to the other suspects. The suspects were eventually arrested while trying to transport their victim to Aba. Meanwhile, the victim has been reunited with his parents, it added, even as he admonishes all residents of the state to be cautious in exposing their children to neighbors and friends they do not truly know. And it's also said that the command also have arrested, let me take it again. The command said 2 persons were arrested for allegedly kidnapping and trafficking a 15-year-old girl in the same state. The state police image maker said the feat was achieved by detectives of the state criminal investigation department. Grace, a superintendent of police, said the first suspect allegedly took the victim to Lagos State on the February 5, 2023 for prostitution. Now, let's look at this story. 4 young girls between the ages of 19 and 26 kidnapping a child of 4 years and transporting that child from Rivers State to Abia State. To do what exactly? I don't understand. To do what exactly? And this is a wake-up call for parents. Please be careful. There's a saying that goes this way. Now who know person, they kill person. Alright, it is someone who knows you that will kill you. Because this child was lured by a neighbor, someone he knows very well. So please, you have to talk to your children, you have to raise your children, you have to be careful with neighbors and friends around your children. Because I really don't understand what these girls want to achieve. I really don't understand why they kidnapped this little child. For what exactly? For what exactly? So let's get your reaction. What do you think? Why do you think that these girls kidnapped this little boy? What do you think is their reason for kidnapping a child and transporting that child from his state to another state? For what exactly? Please keep the calls coming. The number still remains 0700 903 903 903. And like I told you earlier, that a lot of things are happening around us, a lot of things are happening in the country, but at times you may not know because you are only aware of what is happening in your community, you are only aware of what is happening in your vicinity, and you don't know these things. So that is why I am taking you around the country to show you so you can see what's happening around you, in case you don't know.